if we had gone to business school instead of pursuing a PhD in physics, probably we wouldn't have launched the service, because the business model in 2014, from a pure business standpoint, made no sense at all. What was the pitch, right? The pitch was, we're going to make people pay for something that the world's biggest and most dominant tech company is giving away for free. There was no investor that would back that, right? People would say that's the stupidest business plan I've ever seen, because it's never going to work. So in some sense, I think being outsiders to tech, being scientists, it also made us naive enough to try something that back then was frankly insane, even though today it seems pretty common sense. And this takes me back to the crowdfunding as sort of the only way to get started, because you would not find any investor that would take that business plan and say, oh yeah, that makes sense, I'm going to bet on that. They would say, oh yeah, that's crazy, right? So the crowdfunding kicked off in June of 2014, and it actually went quite well. We were surprised by how much support we had out in the community, and that was something that was incredibly that we're incredibly grateful for even today. But the crowdfunding wasn't actually smooth sailing. It happened in July, I believe, of 2014. Was actually PayPal blocked our account because they had questions. They said, is encryption legal? Are you allowed to encrypt emails? Do you have government permission to do what you're doing? Right? So they said, oh, this maybe is illegal, so we're going to block this money. So all of a sudden, we had this crowdfunding campaign that had raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, which we were going to use to basically benefit the community that has supported us and to make good on the promises that we had made. And this money was suddenly locked up, tied up someplace. We had no ability to access it and no idea if we were ever going to get it back. And there's so many people horror stories, right? Maybe you're locked for a day, maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2 years, maybe it's forever, right? The outcome is very, very unclear. And it was at that moment that I realized, wow, what I'm trying to do in this project, it's so fragile. It's so fragile because the financial system is so incredibly centralized, and that if you simply make someone unhappy with what you're doing, or if someone just makes a mistake, you're basically dead. And what I found interesting in that experience was that was also, it was relatively early from a Bitcoin standpoint, right? It was a couple of years after Bitcoin had gotten started. And someone in our community said, you know what? You should start accepting Bitcoin. You should take Bitcoin donations because PayPal has blocked you. So, it's easy to make an address, just open up a Bitcoin link. And we actually did that. So I actually went out there, created, I forgot what website it was, but it was probably one of the OG Bitcoin, wallets, right? We created a Bitcoin wallet, we put the link out there. And actually, there were significant people from the crypto community that decided to donate through Bitcoin after PayPal blocked our account. PayPal, of course, eventually unblocked the account, right? But it took them a while. It's quite slow. And in that period, we received quite a few Bitcoins. And then I was thinking, what is this Bitcoin thing? What is this? What is going on here? Like, I don't understand this. And then I went to dig deeper, and I realized, well, okay, this is quite powerful. So there's no central person that can block these transactions. There's nobody that can wake up one day, make a mistake, and destroy your business. This is incredibly powerful. It is one of the most, I think, powerful business concepts ever, because the issue that we faced today, even 10 years on, if Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and the big banks decide to gang up on Proton, they can still do the same thing to us today, right? So from that moment to today, I think I've always been an advocate of how can we get this powerful concept that enabled Proton to survive 10 years ago and make it more widespread and make it more common, because I think the future of business, democracy, freedom, it really depends on this. And so that was the reason why, in some sense, Proton Wallet has been 10 years in the making. It didn't take us 10 years to do it, but the idea of doing it has always been there. And we're fortunate in 2024 to finally be at a place in terms of organization, in terms of headcount, in terms of resources, to actually make a credible attempt to do it properly. Because there's been a lot of, let's say, improper things that have been done in Bitcoin and crypto over the past 10 years. And we didn't want to do it the wrong way. We want to do it the right way.